I was in the middle of working on a very different video than this one, the one I'm uploading now, but then my Twitter stream went all Boston. Shock, fascination, anger, sadness, all tumbling in one on the other. And then watching the same 20 seconds of video over and over again on a loop. Boom. Then 10 seconds later, another explosion. Boom. One of the victims is a child, many injured with severed limbs, amputations. Everywhere, joy is shattered. Let me color that in for you. A family waiting to cheer dad on as he crosses the finish line. 8-year-old son, dead. Sister, leg blown off. Mother, hospitalized with a grievous brain injury. Another sister, uninjured. Dad coming in across the finish line after all that. That's the horror of the day for you in one family. And it's always the same 20 seconds of video over and over again. Loop, boom, and then boom. And of course the mind races back to 9/11, plane, and then plane. And then 3/11, Madrid, 7/7, London. Is there more? Oh yes, there's lots more. These are just the biggest of the terror events of our century. And then on the same day, yesterday, that 3 died in Boston, many more died in Iraq in terror bombings. Many more. At least 33. Some reports say 55. And yet, the shockwaves from Iraq are smaller than those from Boston because, well, you tell me why. Because they're not people like us? Because we know the peace of Iraq is shaky to begin with? Because cameras aren't trained on the event with reporters already in place? 3 dead doesn't sound like that much, not compared to the toll of other terror acts, not compared to other violent deaths in the United States. I don't have yesterday's figures for you, but I can tell you what the averages are. In the United States, every day on average, 86 people die each day of gun violence. 30 are murders, 53 are suicides, 2 accidental deaths, 1 killed in a police action, and of those, an average of 8 of those are children. Auto accidents comparable, 88 deaths a day. So 3 dead doesn't sound that bad, does it? But Boston is textbook terrorism, which is never so much about raw carnage as about the psychic shock and shattering our illusion of safety. It's about creating anxiety, all out of proportion to injury. The dead and injured aren't the target. They're part of the weapon. Survivors are the target. Survivors on the scene around the country, around the world. The internet, specifically Twitter, has given the world a whole new way of assimilating shocking news. It spreads so quickly, and then people reach out to each other almost instantly. And there's comfort and calm in hearing from people you barely know in lands you rarely visit that they are in some sense with you and the people of Boston. A terror attack can only happen because there are some people who are willing to define strangers as enemies, or more chilling, as things worth sacrificing to some cause. Is it possible that our tech is knitting together a planetary nervous system that will finally persuade us that there is no them, only us? It's possible. I'm not sure we're on that trajectory. The internet is home of rational, compassionate discourse, but it's also the home to, well, you know. For 4 years in the early 1970s, I worked in that neighborhood in Boston. I know those streets so well. I know what the Boston Marathon means to that town. I know people who have run it. Boston is one of the places I call home, and what defines the Boston Marathon for me and for most participants and spectators is not the name and time of the winner. It's just the challenge of running it. It's the quest. It's the people who can barely qualify pushing themselves, pushing beyond any limit of endurance they imagined they could reach. It's a community of spectators who line the streets to cheer the runners on, hand them water as they pass, and celebrate the best of human courage and determination. That spirit was in the race from the beginning, and it will stay in the race long after today passes into history. But that spirit is the key to how we defeat terror, because that spirit is the target of terror. And if we keep it strong and keep pushing forward, then the terrorists have missed their target, no matter how many people they've maimed, no matter how many people they've killed. My heart goes out to the people of Boston. My heart goes out to the people who survived. I know we'll press on. Find someone that you love. Give them a hug today. I'll see you tomorrow.